on, guys? You got TLR here, and we are back for our second episode of the April International Challenge. So, I did get some battles off screen. We won some, we lost some. But basically what I'm trying to say is now we're higher on the ladder, so not by much, but just by a little bit, you know. Here we are at 1602. Nice and average, I guess. Anyway, let's hope we can cop some more W's today in our second day of the April International Challenge. Yeah. Same team, of course. Nothing too out of the ordinary on this team. Although you don't really see Gengar or Milotic or even Tapu Bulu or Xurkitree that much, but you know, they're not bad Pokemon. They're decent Pokemon. I like them anyway. And here's our first opponent of the day, Cole Flag from Germany, rocking that 1500 rating about. And we see the Salazzle, Tapu Koko, Pheromosa, Celesteela, Alakazam, and Golisopod. Alright. And he's already locked in his Pokemon. Alright. I think I can lead Xurkitree because he doesn't have an electric immunity, right? So I can Volt Switch on pretty much anything. I also want to, I don't want to lead Gengar. I don't want to lead Gengar. I could lead Celesteela. I do think I want to bring Celesteela. Although, yeah, I do want to bring Celesteela. Because it does well against the Pheromosa, does well against the Alakazam, and it can even do well against the Golisopod and his own Celesteela. The question is, do I want to lead with it? Yeah, I'm okay with leading with it. I do want to bring Tapu Bulu in the back to check that Tapu Koko and its electric terrain, as well as being able to check the Golisopod and even the Alakazam, because it is Assault by Tapu Bulu. And I definitely want to bring Gengar in the back for that Pheromosa, because that Pheromosa could end up being a problem if I don't, deal with it right away. So he's going to lead with Salazzle and Alakazam. Alright. I'm going to lead with my Celesteela and my Xurkitree. So obviously the Salazzle is the bigger problem at the moment since it immediately threatens my Celesteela. I don't really want to switch in anything on it. So I think I'm actually going to Thunderbolt the Salazzle. No, I will Heavy Slam the Alakazam. And the reason is, I didn't want to leave it open just in case the Salazzle is Focus Sash. But, yeah, see, it's Focus Sash, but I'm pretty sure I live a Flamethrower. And I'm going to see the Psychic from the Alakazam into the Xurkitree. I should eat this up pretty easily. Maybe not pretty easily. It turns out to be Life Orb, and it's not Magic Guard, so that's interesting. But yeah, I should be able to live this. My Celesteela is pretty bulky. We don't get burned, that's good. And then this Heavy Slam should just knock out Alakazam. Alright, so Threat nullified, that's good. And we get the Beast Boost, that probably doesn't matter. I don't think. Heal up with the leftovers. And we're going to see the Golisopod come in here, alright. So the Golisopod almost definitely has First Impression. I don't want to sack Xurkitree because it outspeeds the Salazzle. So I am going to send in Gengar on it. It can eat up a First Impression decently since it times 4 resist, but obviously Golisopod is a powerful Pokemon and Gengar doesn't have a ton of defense. And I'm just going to protect my Celesteela here, expecting a Flamethrower to come out from the Salazzle again. Celesteela is going to protect. First Impression does come out onto the Gengar, as predicted, and yeah, that is a critical hit. Does about 35%, I'd say. Oof. And sorry if you do hear the thunder in the background. It is storming outside right now while I am recording this, but got to prioritize the recording, right? Okay, so I'm going to Shadow Ball this Salazzle. Am I okay with losing Celesteela here? I actually am, and the reason is because since I've already taken the damage, an attack from the Pheromosa can just knock me out. I guess it could also be nice for the Gliscopod, but Tapu Bulu should be able to deal with that pretty well. So I'm going to Leech Seed the Gliscopod just in case that the Salazzle is slower. He actually goes for the Aqua Jet with his Gliscopod, but I can live this. And yeah, Salazzle does outspeed. Goes for the Flamethrower on my Celesteela, and that's just going to go down. But Celesteela did its job, took out the Alakazam. And Gengar is going to be able to launch off Shadow Ball onto the Salazzle and knock that out as well, which will open up room for my Tapu Bulu in the back. Now, worst case scenario, he has his Pheromosa, right? And since he does have the Gliscopod with Aqua Jet, then Gengar can't really take a hit. Other possibilities he has in the back are Celesteela and yeah. So I'm going to bring in Tapu Bulu because I want to take out this Gliscopod, but it is Pheromosa in the back. Okay. Alright. Now, there is a possibility that the Pheromosa doesn't have Poison Jab, but I highly doubt it. And my Tapu Bulu most likely can't live a Poison Jab unless it's like a very weak, uninvested Pheromosa. I do want to protect my Gengar. But then again, I probably can't knock out Gliscopod, can I? Yeah, the fact that Gliscopod has Aqua Jet is pretty bad for me. Maybe if I knock out Pheromosa, though. Yeah, that's my best bet, to knock out Pheromosa here. If he somehow doesn't knock out my Bulu, like doesn't have Poison Jab or something like that. Ice Beam won't knock me out because I do have the Assault Vest. Ice Beam. Okay, so I should be able to live this. No, I definitely live this. And does Wood Hammer knock the Pheromosa out is the question. I know it's resisted, but this is Grassy Terrain boosted. It does indeed knock the Pheromosa out. So it looks like this is our comeback. It's comeback time. So unless the Gliscopod has like Poison Jab, we should be good, because obviously Aqua Jet isn't going to do too much to my Tapu Bulu. So Assault Vest Bulu coming in clutch right here. I'm just going to launch off a Sludge Bomb. He probably will just Aqua Jet my Gengar, knock it out, but while he does that, I can Horn Leech his Gliscopod and get all that health back. Yep. So we're going to knock out my Gengar there. That's fine. And let's get all that health back. And it does around 47% or something like that. Puts him within range of Wood Hammer, so. Or it should. I'm actually just going to, I'm going to Horn Leech again this next turn, just in case Wood Hammer doesn't knock him out, because I don't want to like take recoil and then, I don't know. I don't think I can lose at this point, because Thunderbolt will knock out Gliscopod if he decides to target the Bulu this turn. But Horn Leech is the safer play, I guess. So yeah, he's just going to Aqua Jet to knock out my Xurkitree. Critical hit, yeah, that mattered completely. I had 1 health left. It only does a half a health. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna heal back some more health. Just playing this end game safe. Don't want anything weird to happen. Like, worst case scenario, he's like Quick Claw Golisopod, and he's Quick Claw Golisopod, and he activates and knocks me out with a poison jab. That's worst case scenario, but you know, that's not going to happen. We're just going to hit him with a Wood Hammer and finish him off, and that's going to be good game to our opponent. Win our first game of the day. That's always good. That's a nice start. Yeah. And that's how we do it in yeah. I lost my train of thought there. So and quickly not save this battle video. No need to save a battle video that's being recorded live. So let's continue battling. Hopefully we can continue this win streak. And here's our next opponent of the day, NTJ Purifier. That's an interesting name. Rocking a Trick Room team with Porygon 2, Gigalith, Muk, Tapu Fini, Arcanine, and the Alolan Persian. So I definitely want to lead Gengar because Gengar is immune to Fake Out and can taunt the Porygon 2, which means I can guarantee he doesn't get Trick Room up if he does indeed lead with that. I also want to bring Garchomp because he does not have a ground resist. So if I can launch off a Tectonic Rage on something that's not protecting, it's just going to take a lot of damage. I do want to bring Xurkitree, or maybe not Xurkitree. I think Milotic and Tapu Bulu actually, because both of those are good against the Gigalith. Tapu Bulu can deal with the Tapu Fini, right? And then Milotic is better for the Muk than Xurkitree because it has Recover, so it can sort of kind of stall it out. Plus, it can possibly get a burn with the Scald. So I'm gonna lock in, and yeah, let's just see how we do. We do have to watch out though, since we are going to lead Garchomp Gengar. If he leads Porygon 2 and decides not to Trick Room, then he could just knock us out with a Ice Beam. Unless he gets the attack boost, in which case it'll be a roll. I'm not running a bulky Garchomp. I'm just running 252 attack and speed with a Jolly nature, and the reason for that is because, as you could probably already guess, there's no speed control on this team, so I wanted to be able to outspeed as much as possible. So he's going to lead with the Muk and the Persian. Interesting. So I could technically Sludge Bomb the Persian because he's definitely not going to Fake Out the Gengar. But I also don't want, because what I'm guessing is he's probably just going to Fake Out the Garchomp and knock off the Gengar. So I am actually going to double protect. That way, next turn, I can... next turn, I'm guessing what he's going to do is Parting Shot my Garchomp. And then he probably has his Muk EV, so that at -1, Tectonic Rage does knock it out. He actually protects with Muk. Interesting. And he goes for the Foul Play onto my Garchomp. Okay, so not what I expected, but not a bad outcome for this turn. Because what this does is it means Muk... Muk can't protect this turn, so now we can surefire launch off a Tectonic Rage into that slot. Now he could Parting Shot on my Garchomp, and then possibly Muk takes the Tectonic Rage. It could be Eevee to take the Tectonic Rage. And because of that, I definitely want to double into that slot to guarantee, because Sludge Bomb Plus, even though Sludge Bomb is resisted and Muk is pretty bulky, ooh, he's actually not very fast on his Persian. Now that is not something I expected. Going to launch off the Foul Play, going to do not even half actually. I guess my Garchomp's not that strong. But now we can launch off this Tectonic Rage and take out the Muk. And that means Gengar is a lot more free, I guess. a lot more free to do what he wants. Yep, Muck can't take that, especially since he's taken that Sludge Bomb and I was not at -1. No way Muck can take that. So, down goes Muck. Down right to the core of the earth. Huh. And now we're going to see the Porygon 2. Alright, that's fine. And since we know that my Gengar is faster than his, okay, so he does get the attack boost. That's good. Kind of. Although I mean, it's good in the sense that it'll be doing less damage, but I mean, Ice Beam is still going to kill Garchomp. I'm going to taunt the Porygon 2 here. And I could send in Tapu Bulu. That might not be a bad play. Especially since he got the attack boost. Since he got the attack boost, Ice Beam won't be doing as much, and I do want to save Garchomp. And Foul Play is resisted, so that won't be doing too much either. I mean, it'll do a decent chunk, obviously, because Tapu Bulu has high attack stat, but I'll be able to live it relatively comfortably. I should be able to live an Ice Beam plus a Foul Play if he decides to go for that. He actually launches off a Parting Shot, so reveals that he actually speed ties with my Gengar, which I'm guessing what he did is he just made his Persian to outspeed Kartana, which is fine, I guess. Going to reveal the Arcanine. Alright. Intimidate, that's not going to matter too much. Although I kinda wish I had switched into my Milotic here, because then I would have gotten the competitive boost, plus I would have resisted the Ice Beam. But now that I know his last 3 Pokemon, Milotic seems to be able to take care of them all, sort of. So I'm going to Sludge Bomb into the Arcanine slot and switch right into the Milotic. Now we do have to watch out for the possible Wild Charge on Arcanine, so I don't want to just let this thing get hit. Although 2 Sludge Bombs might be able to knock out Arcanine, depending on if it's an offensive set or a defensive set. So yeah, that's been a decent chunk. However, so based on the damage, I'm guessing that's a more bulky set. Maybe like max HP, Mago Berry, max speed. That was a critical hit. That's fine. And the bulkier sets don't tend to run Wild Charge. So I kind of want to guess he doesn't have Wild Charge. However, I also don't want to take that risk. Going to heal back up a little bit with the grassy terrain, and we're just going to launch off another Sludge Bomb. And protect our Milotic again, because I do not want to get hit by the by a possible Wild Charge from the Arcanine. I'm pretty sure I could live it, since it most likely is a bulkier set. Okay, so he just protects, that's fine. Milotic protects. This also would be nice if he goes for the Thunderbolt into the Milotic. I can scout for the Thunderbolt. He actually has Return. Okay. So he is running a mixed Porygon 2. I'm pretty sure this is the last turn of Porygon 2's taunt. Yep. However, I am okay with him setting up Trick Room, because his last Pokemon in the back is that Persian, which my entire team, bar Gengar, who speed ties, my entire team is slower than, so it would really only be betting the Porygon 2 if he does that. So, and I'm also going to recover on the Milotic, because I think I'm at enough health to take a Wild Charge at this point, if he does have it. Also, this will, yeah, so he does reveal the Wild Charge. I think I can live this. Yup. And I do also get the Wiki Berry boost, so that's also cool. And Recover will just put me back at full health. And does he go for the Ice Beam on Gengar? Or does he go for the Return on Milotic? He does go for the Return on Milotic, that's fine. This is +1, so it'll do a hearty chunk, but not over half, so I'm okay with that. And he also does not have the berry on Arcanine, which is good information. No healing berry. But he does have Protect, so I don't know what item he has. Flare Blitz. I don't know if Flare Blitz into Gengar will knock him out due to recoil. I do want to taunt the Porygon 2 to prevent him from recovering, though. No, I'm just going to Sludge Bomb on the Arcanine and Scald the Porygon 2, attempt to get a burn on that thing. So he doesn't protect Arcanine, that's good. We can knock that out. No more wild charging into my Milotic. And Scald into Porygon 2. We're just going to do like 20, 18%, something around there. Goes for the turn, does damage. So if we take out the if we can take out the Persian, we should be good, because the Persian is threatening my Garchomp and my Bulu with a foul play. Obviously, they're physical attackers, so if he can get rid of that, then Bulu and Garchomp can attack Porygon 2 with heavy hitting moves like Grassy Terrain boosted Wood Hammer and Dragon Claw, I guess. And so I'm going to Sludge Bomb the Persian and protect Milotic, because I don't want him faking out my Milotic and then hitting me with a return, which would prevent me from being able to get out for recover next turn. So he actually just goes for the foul play into Gengar. Can I tank this? Because obviously, yeah, Gengar tanks that really easily, even though it's super effective and stab. Gengar's attack is just pitifully low. Goes for the Ice Beam, so he does double up on Gengar. Good play on his part. Gets a critical hit. Not sure if that mattered. I do end up disabling his Ice Beam, though, which is probably going to come in handy. Looks like I can just send in Tapu Bulu right here. Get up the Grassy Surge again. And yeah, I definitely want to attack the Persian. The question is, do I want to go for Horn Leech? Because Horn Leech probably won't knock it out. I could go for Superpower and then switch my Boo out into Garchomp. That could work. Or I could just Scald the Persian to guarantee it goes down. I think that's what I'll do. I don't think I need Milotic to win this game, so I'm going to Scald plus Horn Leech. It actually quashes the Milotic. Okay, that's fine. Going to Horn Leech, and it actually is going to knock it out. Okay, is that a crit? That might be a crit. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. Yeah, it's not a crit, so okay, that's fine. He's definitely going for the return into Milotic, though. That makes sense. Knocking out Milotic there, that's fine. But since Ice Beam is disabled, I don't know if a +1 return will knock out my Garchomp from where it is, but it might not. And if it doesn't, then yeah, I'm just in an incredibly good position. So yeah, here I'm actually just going to go for the Wood Hammer and the Dragon Claw onto the Porygon 2. Since I'm practically at full health with Bulu, I don't really have to worry about whether return. I'm pretty sure return after recoil won't knock me out, because my Bulu is pretty bulky, although I don't know if it will. He could be running like attack investment on his Porygon 2, that's also a possibility. So we're going to launch off the Wood Hammer, and this is going to do actually so much damage. Goes for the Trick Room, but that doesn't matter at this point, because he either decides to recover this next turn. He either knocks something out, and then the Pokemon that he doesn't knock out, actually he probably can't even knock out the Tapu Bulu. And it looks like even if he tries to recover, Wood Hammer plus Dragon Claw will knock it out. So I think we've got this in the bag. Again, we're just going to double attack. This should win us the game. Oh, the Porygon 2 reveals it has the Protect. That's pretty interesting. Going to get a little bit more recovery with the grassy terrain. But again, I don't think it matters. I don't think this grassy terrain recovery is putting him in a range to like tank a Dragon Claw, and then he like possibly crits Tapu Bulu with a return. And his move is no longer disabled, so he can't Ice Beam. I guess his win con is like freezing Tapu Bulu and living a Garchomp. Living a Garchomp's Dragon Claw. So yeah, it looks like that's what he's going for. Oh, no, yeah. So that's what he's going for. Does he freeze? He gets a crit, but he does not freeze. So this Wood Hammer is just going to come out and knock out the Porygon 2, and that's going to be a good game. Yep, fun game right there. Tapu Bulu putting in a lot of work. Showing why, even though he's the least used Tapu, he definitely should not be slept on, right? You have to watch out because he can definitely do a lot of damage if he's left alone. Alright, so 2 wins so far. Let's see if we can continue this win streak and get a final 3rd win in today's episode. If we can, that would be super, super cool. I would definitely enjoy that. There's nothing wrong with winning. Although the most important thing, of course, is to have fun, right? Okay, so here we see a team featuring Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Muk, Tapu Lele, Dragonite, Machamp, and the Alolan Persian again. So I do like Gengar in this matchup. It does well against pretty much everything, bar the Alolan Ninetales and a possible Scarfalele and maybe Dragonite. Although I don't know what Dragonite is rocking. Celesteela is actually really good here as long as we can get rid of the Machamp. He also does not have an electric immunity, so I do want to lead Xurkitree, I think. And if I lead Xurkitree Gengar, then I can knock out the Ninetales before I can set up an Aurora Veil, so I might want to do that. Although, if he leads Muk, that could be a problem. Actually, yeah, I do want to lead Celesteela. It does mean that if he does lead Ninetales, he's guaranteed up in Aurora Veil, but I'm okay with that, and I want Gengar and Garchomp in the back because those both do well against a majority of his team. Gengar really only being threatened by the Muk, and again, a possible Scarfalele. And then, of course, the Garchomp is threatened by the Ninetales and a possible Scarfalele. So basically, if this Lele is Scarf, that's what we got to find out. He's going to lead off with Dragonite and Ninetales. Okay. So I'm guessing this is some sort of Dragon Dance Dragonite. So unless it's Jolly Dragon Dance Dragonite, my Xurkitree will outspeed it. Although he could just not go for an Aurora Veil and go for a Blizzard. Although I don't think he will. So I am going to Hidden Power Ice the Ninetales and Leech Seed the Dragonite. It's a weird play. I also could just attack the Ninetales. No, but then he gets a free switch in and I definitely don't want that. Okay, he actually just protects his Ninetales. That's fine. I don't want him getting a... Okay, he actually has the Earthquake. I'm pretty sure I live this with Xurkitree unless it's maybe Choice Banded. But yeah, it doesn't kill, which means I know it's not Choice Banded, which is good information. I'm going to get the Leech Seed off and just get this chip damage on Dragonite, most likely breaking its multi-scale. It could be Inner Focus. But I just... My play was guessing it was multi-scale because he led with it and then the Ninetales, so it seems to be some sort of... So I guessed it was some sort of setup Dragonite. But, you know, it might not have been. He could have the extreme speed, but in that case he either doesn't have the setup or doesn't have Protect, or, I mean, doesn't have Stab, but I can't see that happening. So I'm going to guess he doesn't have the extreme speed. That seems like the most likely situation. And I'm going to least seed the Alolan Ninetales. So does he reveal the extreme speed? No, he does not have the extreme speed, so we can just knock out this Dragonite with a Hidden Power Ice. And, you know, get a Beast Boost, although I don't know how long this is going to last. Xurkitry's gotten pretty low. We do see the Aurora Veil, so it looks like he was attempting to set up. Maybe he guessed, since my Hidden Power Ice went to his Ninetales, he might have guessed that it wasn't Hidden Power Ice. That's a possibility. But yeah, it was Hidden Power Ice. Sorry, buddy. Alright. So this Leech Seed is going to break the Ninetales Sash, if it had one. Again, I'm playing based on predictions. In a best of one format, you can't really scout for that kind of stuff. So I had to sort of kind of guess that he was running a Sash Ninetales. And I'm just going to launch off Hidden Power Ice into the Machamp slot, get off as much damage as possible. Xurkitree will go down to Hail, which will allow me to get a free switch in if you decide. Like, the only possible way Xurkitree is going to go down without getting an attack off is if the Ninetales has Ice Shard or the Machamp has Bullet Punch. So I should just be able to get off a chunk of damage on the Machamp. And then Xurkitree will go down to Hail, allowing me to get a free switch into whatever I need to in the back. And I'm going to protect Celesteela, expecting a possible close combat. Nope, so he does reveal the Bullet Punch. Okay. This almost definitely knocked me out. I have 8 health left. But that's fine. And Ninetales just goes for the Blizzard. So is Machamp Guts is the question. I mean, even if it doesn't have, it could be Guts just without a Life Orb. I mean a Flame Orb. But if it's Guts, I expect it to be a Flame Orb set. I just feel like that would make the most sense. Alright, so yeah, let's send in Gengar now. And since he's not Guts, or since he doesn't have the Flame Orb, that makes me want to guess that he is what is it? No Guard, right? I want to guess that he's no Guard. So I could also Sludge Bomb into the Ninetales, but since he has the Aurora Veil up, I'm pretty sure that won't kill. And then a Blizzard plus a Bullet Punch might kill my Gengar. So we're probably going to have to take a Dynamic Punch on my Celesteela, but if we can break through the confusion and knock out the Ninetales, that's what we're going to go for, basically. Unless this... Okay, yeah, that Blizzard actually didn't do too much. So he does show the Dynamic Punch. I can eat this up. Celesteela just being really, really bulky. Can we break through the confusion? Yes, we can. So we can just Heavy Slam and knock out this Ninetales. Nice. Yep, definitely knocks out through the Aurora Veil. However, we do lose that Leech Seed recovery, which means now we are in... It's possible that... no. Well, okay. Dynamic Punch. We won't heal back, so Dynamic Punch. Another Dynamic Punch will knock us out. Easy peasy, basically. If that's what he wants to go for. He also could try to knock out my Gengar with a Bullet Punch. Last Pokemon in the back for him is going to be the Tapu Lele. And my last Pokemon in the back is the Garchomp. So I'm actually going to Sludge Bomb the Lele. Because if it's Scarf, then I'm just in trouble. Because if it's Scarf, then I have to knock out the Machamp with a Tectonic Rage in order to win this game. Because if it's Scarf, then it knocks out my Gengar here, and if it's Scarf, it knocks out my Gengar, and then yeah, then I have to rely on Garchomp and Celesteela to beat it, but Celesteela would go down. We also have to not be confused right here. We have to get this Protect off. Okay, cool. We get the Protect off. is the Tapu Lele Scarf. It is Scarf, okay. But he actually goes for the Psychic into the Celesteela, so that's really good for me because that means I can get off this Sludge Bomb. Do we Poison? Ah, not bad, not bad, not bad. So Poison plus Hail. He reveals the knockoff on the thing. And I think there's one more turn of Hail. No, there's not. Okay. Oh, kind of unfortunate, I guess, because if there was one more turn of Hail, I think Hail plus Poison would knock out the Tapu Lele after a couple turns. And Garchomp right here. Garchomp should be able to live a Psychic, though. The thing is, actually, we could Earthquake here. That's not a bad play. Earthquake plus Leech Seed. I'm trying to think of our best way to win. Garchomp should live a Psychic. Celesteela probably lives a Psychic. So yeah, I'm going to Earthquake and then Leech Seed the Machamp. Attempt to get Celesteela to a point where it can live. I should be able to live this. Yep, live that. Doesn't affect Celesteela, so we can just Earthquake, knock out the Tapu Lele and not the Machamp because the Aurora Veil is still up. And since the Psychic Terrain is up, if he doesn't attack Garchomp here, okay, nice. Since the Psychic Terrain is up, he can't Bullet Punch my Garchomp, which means Garchomp can safely just launch off a Tectonic Rage into the Machamp, which should just be able to finish it off right here. So let's hope this will knock it out. It looks like the Aurora Veil is still up, so that was probably Light Clay Ninetales, but I don't think it matters. This is a Tectonic Rage. It should be able to knock out a Machamp. From that range. Yeah, so Machamp just goes down, and that's going to be 3 wins in this episode. Good game to my opponent. Definitely had a lot of fun with that one. That one was best game of the day for me anyway. Although I've only had 3 games today so far, so either way, yeah, ton of fun in this episode, right? Mission accomplished. Fun times achieved. So yeah, that is going to be the end of this episode of our April International Challenge. We will be back tomorrow for the final day, and you'll get to see exactly how I end up in the April International Challenge, right? But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.